guys, while I'm in the middle of reading the next Star Wars Legends book, I thought this would be the perfect time to discuss another Star Wars comic book series that released roughly around the same time. So anyway, today we're going to be looking at the Tales of the Jedi miniseries, or as it has been rebranded, Tales of the Jedi, Knights of the Old Republic. Tales of the Jedi was released between 1993 and 1994 and lasted for 5 issues and was written by Tom Veitch, who, if you remember from my Dark Empire review, also wrote that story, and he is the writer on this story as well, with art by David Roach, and it follows 2 stories of Jedi Knights during the Old Republic, focusing on Ulrich Qel-Droma and the Beast Riders of Onderon, as well as the saga of Nomi Sunrider. As I was looking through all the Star Wars Legends material that I was planning on reading for this huge Star Wars project that I have, Tales of the Jedi was something that I was really fascinated in. This is a series that extended well beyond 1993 and 1994. This was an ongoing series, and it started with this small little mini-series during this time. And so I was really interested in seeing a period of Star Wars that hadn't been explored yet, because the title suggests that we are going to be looking at, of course, the Knights of the Old Republic, and this is taking place before the prequels ever came out. This is, a few years before that. And so this is our first glance at the Old Republic as it would later be, developed later on in the early 2000s. And so that makes this particular comic really fascinating. And of course, we get some inconsistencies, but that's to be expected as these writers didn't know what George Lucas had planned for the prequels. And so for many people also that maybe aren't a big fan of the prequels, maybe this is how you would probably picture the Jedi, because the Jedi in this comic book series are, they're brothers and sisters, and they also take on lovers, they have husbands and wives, they have children, and so it's very different from what we get in the prequels and what would continue to be going on as expanded universe, expanded. And so these stories are an interesting time capsule of the time, and also they are extremely dated as well. I was really looking forward to these stories, reading these, but ultimately they're really cheesy, really goofy, and sometimes rather bland and dry, but there is some fun to be had. I particularly really enjoyed the first story arc in this little mini-series focusing on Ulrich Qel-Droma. He was a lot of fun. There was a lot of cool stuff going on here with these Beast Riders, as these Jedi are brought to Onderon to basically cease a conflict between the people on the planet. And that stuff is really entertaining, watching the Jedi basically being rangers of the Outlands, more or less. And that was really fun. The art is also really good in this story. It sometimes can be inconsistent, and that is a problem that I will get into when I talk about the next story. But overall, I really like the art and the colors and how gritty this story is. This is kind of like a violent sort of Western, which was really interesting. I like seeing the Jedi in this almost sort of Arthurian kind of way, or this Viking-esque way. That was really interesting and cool, and just ultimately a lot of fun. Now, my problems with this little series deal mostly with the Nomi Sunrider storyline. I don't find Nomi Sunrider that interesting of a character. In fact, I find her extremely annoying and frustrating as a character, and also I have no idea what is up with the art in this portion of this little mini-series, because I looked and it has the same artist for all 5 issues, but the art in between each issue is so inconsistent, especially when you look at the first issue with Nomi Sunrider and then the second issue. Nomi Sunrider in the first comic she's in looks like she's losing her hair. And it's really weird and awkward, and I hate looking at it. But then the art style kind of changes in the next two issues, and it's really weird. She looks fine. She doesn't look anything like she did in the first issue she was in, and I was like, this is really inconsistent and really throwing me off, and it's supposed to be the same artist. I also found it extremely stupid. In the beginning of her story, her husband is going off to find this Jedi Master to train with him, and he anticlimactically dies by getting bitten by a rat. Yep, that's how our Jedi dies in this story. And so Nomi Sunrider has to then continue on the journey herself and visit a ancient Jedi Master Thrawn, who is a rhino. He looks like a rhinoceros, and it's really, really dumb. I think I know what they were going for, that, you know, a Jedi can be anything, like how Master Yoda could be a Jedi even though he was this real fragile looking alien creature. I think that's what they were going for here, but I can't look at this thing and not think of a rhino, and it just made the rest of the reading just being really goofy, and that's ultimately what this little miniseries is. It's not fantastically written at all. There are some great moments here and there. The action is a lot of fun. I love the colors. Some of the art is really good, and then sometimes it's inconsistent. But maybe my favorite part of this little miniseries was when Master Thrawn shows Nomi Sunrider this holocron of this ancient war with the Sith, and we get some glimpses of like Sith armor, Jedi armor, and just like some really cool visual storytelling here, and some really interesting lore that can be sat upon and contemplated, and that stuff was really intriguing. But overall, this story is kind of messy. It's silly, as I said, but I can say I enjoyed my time for the most part, and it's not terrible. There's only one issue here that I would say is kind of extremely dumb and really bad, and that is the first issue with Nomi Sunrider. But the rest can be really enjoyable, and it's just interesting seeing a different version of the Old Republic in this prequel era before the prequels even existed. So anyway, guys, with all that said, I'm going to give Tales of the Jedi, the miniseries, a 7 out of 10. Well, guys, I want to thank you for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. This was really interesting, even though I didn't particularly love it. It was still fun nonetheless, and I'm really interested in continuing on looking at these Star Wars Legends comics as I'm reading the Star Wars Legend books. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and as always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next review.